Am I the bad guy for disinviting a friend to my birthday after she showed me the food she was bringing? I recently found myself in a bit of a dilemma regarding my upcoming birthday party. I'm turning 18 soon, and I decided to host a dinner at my house with my closest friends. I let everyone know they could bring food if they wanted, but I planned to do some light cooking, like grilling and ordering pizza. One of my friends, Ryan, asked if he could bring his girlfriend, Emily, since they had just started dating. I said that was fine, especially since he would be leaving early. Emily offered to make food, and I thought that was really nice, even though I told her she didn't have to. I created a group chat for everyone attending and sent out a message with all the details, including a crucial note about allergies. One of my friends has a serious nut allergy, and I made it clear that everyone needed to check their food for nuts and be cautious about cross-contamination. Everyone acknowledged the message, and Emily even gave it a thumbs up. Later, while chatting with Emily, she mentioned the cake she was making. I asked to see a picture, and when I did, I recognized it as something my mom had made before. To my dismay, it contained nuts. I asked her if it had nuts, and she confirmed it did, but she insisted it was just a little, and that my friend could simply avoid eating the cake. I felt uncomfortable with that, and told her I'd prefer she didn't bring it at all. That's when things took a turn. Emily got upset, saying she had gone through the trouble of making the cake, and would bring it or not come at all. I stood my ground, and told her that if she was bringing something that could potentially harm my friend, then she wasn't welcome at the party. I explained that I had been very clear about the allergy and the need for caution. She accused me of being disrespectful, claiming that since she was Ryan's girlfriend, she should be allowed to come regardless. I told her it was my party, and I didn't want her there anymore because she was acting immaturely. After that, Ryan called me, saying I was being unreasonable and that Emily had put a lot of effort into the cake. I replied that it didn't matter how long she spent on it. I had set clear guidelines about what could be brought, and nuts were a hard no. Ryan hung up on me, and now he and Emily are telling others they won't attend because I called her names and rejected her cake. Most of our friends, especially those not coming to the party, are saying I was unfair to disinvite her after she put in so much effort. Only a few, including the friend with the nut allergy, are on my side. With the party just around the corner, I'm left wondering if I made the right call. Was I really in the wrong for prioritizing my friend's safety over a cake?
Am I the bad guy for telling my sister the reason why our family isn't close with her kids? I want to share a situation that has been brewing in my family for years, and I hope to get some perspective on whether I'm in the wrong. I'm a 24-year-old woman with an older sister who is 28 and has 3 kids, ages 6, 4, and 3. When my oldest niece was born, my sister became incredibly strict and overprotective. She set rules that seemed extreme, like not allowing anyone to meet the baby until she was 6 months old, or questioning why anyone would want to hold her child. Initially, we thought this was just typical new mom behavior. But as her second child arrived, her attitude didn't change. Over time, our family began to distance ourselves, accepting that if we saw them, great, but if not, that was fine too. Only our parents made a consistent effort to stay connected. Things shifted when I had my son, who just turned 1. From the beginning, I wanted him to be surrounded by family, and he has been showered with love and attention. I tried to talk to my sister about the importance of having a support system, especially with 3 kids, but my advice seemed to fall on deaf ears. Then came Christmas. Everyone was gearing up to gather at our parents' house for dinner and gift exchanges, a day filled with warmth and joy. My sister usually declines the invitation with some excuse, but this year, she surprised us by saying she would come with her family. It was last minute, and we scrambled to buy gifts for her kids, since we had no idea what they liked. We wrapped the gifts and continued with our holiday preparations. On Christmas Day, when she arrived, the atmosphere was cheerful, but I noticed my sister's displeasure when her kids opened their gifts. They were nice presents, but it was clear that my parents had struggled to choose something meaningful, given how rarely they had seen the kids. Throughout the day, her children sat quietly, glued to the couch, shy and hesitant to engage with anyone. We tried to include them, but they clung to their mom. Later, while helping my mom in the kitchen, my sister walked in and asked why our family seemed to favor my son over her kids. She expressed that she felt heartbroken, seeing her children as outsiders in their own family. The kitchen fell silent for a moment, and I thought my mom would respond, but she didn't. I finally spoke up, explaining that my sister had isolated her kids and acted like a helicopter mom, snapping at us when we tried to help. I told her that nobody would beg to have a relationship with her children if they felt rejected. My mom chimed in, sharing her hurt over being pushed away while trying to support my sister. This sparked a heated argument, with my sister twisting our words and ultimately leaving in a huff with her kids. We didn't hear from her until we invited her to my dad's 50th birthday dinner. That's when we discovered we had all been blocked on social media. A cousin sent me screenshots of my sister posting about how awful families can be. I can't help but wonder, why ask a question if you're not ready for the answer? So, am I the bad guy in this situation?
My GF, 32F, has been very sad since she found out her ex-BF is getting married. I've been dating my girlfriend for about 4 months, and everything seemed perfect until she found out that her ex-boyfriend, with whom she had a long relationship, was getting married. They had broken up about a year ago after being together for 9 years, and we started dating shortly after. When she learned the news from an old friend, I could see the shock on her face. She spent nearly an hour scrolling through his Facebook profile, which I initially thought was just curiosity. But ever since that day, she has been visibly sad and stressed, often diving deep into social media to learn more about his new fiancé. I couldn't help but wonder why she was so affected by this. If she had moved on, why was she still so preoccupied with her ex? I finally mustered the courage to ask her if she felt he was the one who got away. She quickly denied it, insisting she wasn't pining for him. She explained that he hadn't treated her well, and that she had turned him down multiple times when he reached out after their breakup. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to her sadness. Some comments from friends and online advice suggested that her feelings were more about the time they spent together than about wanting him back. After all, 9 years is a long time, and it's natural to feel a sense of loss when someone you invested so much time in moves on. It seemed like she was grieving not just the relationship, but also the dreams they had together, especially since she had expressed a desire for marriage and children. I learned that during their relationship, her ex had a rather peculiar approach to finances. He insisted on splitting everything down the middle, even when it came to meals. On our first date, I took her to a nice restaurant, and the next day she apologized for not being able to pay her half right away. It turned out her ex had always made her transfer her share after every outing, which struck me as odd. After reflecting on the advice I received, I decided it was time for a heart-to-heart conversation. I went to her favorite restaurant, picked up her favorite dish, and headed to her apartment. When she came out, I told her that while I couldn't fully understand what she was going through, I respected her feelings. I asked her to at least not be sad on an empty stomach, hoping to lighten the mood. Her eyes welled up with emotion as she opened up about her struggles. She admitted that she hadn't been the best girlfriend lately and apologized for her behavior. She explained how hard it was to see someone she had invested so much time with now living a life that contradicted everything he had once said about relationships. He had always dismissed the idea of marriage and looked down on age gap relationships. Yet, here he was, marrying someone significantly younger and living a life she had hoped for. She reassured me that she didn't want him back and that she felt she had upgraded to a much better relationship with me. But the pain of feeling like she had wasted 9 years of her life was still weighing heavily on her. I realized that while she was moving forward with me, she still needed time to process her past. It was a delicate balance, but I was determined to support her through this journey. Recently, my girlfriend has been feeling pretty down ever since she found out that her ex-boyfriend is getting married. It's tough to see someone you care about in pain, and I wanted to be there for her. I jokingly told her that if she needed a shoulder to cry on or someone to vent about her ex, I was more than happy to help with both. We shared a laugh, which lightened the mood a bit. As we talked, she expressed that she didn't want to be alone during this tough time. So when she asked if she could stay with me for a few days, I gladly said yes. Now she's setting up her workstation in my spare bedroom while I'm here making this update. It feels good to be able to support her, and I'm glad I could offer her some comfort. She'll be staying with me for the whole week, and I'm just hoping to help her feel a little better. It's nice to know that I can be there for her when she needs it most.
Am I the bad guy for not inviting my brother to my wedding? I'm getting married this April to my partner Fred, and we've been together for 8 wonderful years. I also have a 10-year-old daughter, Bella, from a previous relationship, and Fred has been an incredible stepfather to her. However, there's a significant issue looming over our wedding: my brother, Dick. About 11 years ago, when I was pregnant and visiting my parents, Dick made some hurtful comments about my weight. He called me a whale and said I'd never lose it, claiming my then partner wouldn't find me attractive. He even compared me to his 2 ex-girlfriends, saying they didn't gain as much weight during their pregnancies. I was already feeling vulnerable, and his words cut deep. In a moment of anger, I lashed out, pointing out his shortcomings as a father and his unstable relationships. That's when things escalated. He physically attacked me, choking me until I struggled to breathe. It was terrifying, and when my mother walked in, she saw the marks on his face, but instead of supporting me, she blamed me for provoking him. After that incident, I decided to cut Dick out of my life. We only see each other at large family gatherings, and even then, we don't speak. Fred knows everything that happened, and has also chosen not to engage with Dick. Fast forward to now, my mother insists that Dick should be invited to our wedding. I firmly told her no, I want a stress-free day. She responded by saying she would ask Fred, but I made it clear that he would also say no. We're paying for the wedding, and we should have the final say on the guest list. Things escalated when my mother threatened to tell Bella about the incident, claiming she had a right to know. I didn't want to burden my daughter with that trauma, especially at her age. My mother insisted she would share her version of events, which would paint me in a negative light. Feeling cornered, I decided to tell Bella the truth myself. When I explained what happened, she was shocked and asked if I was okay. I reassured her that I was fine and that I'm still seeing a psychologist to work through my feelings about the incident. Bella couldn't understand why my mother would want me to apologize or invite Dick to the wedding. Fred is furious about the whole situation. He believes my family tends to sweep serious issues under the rug, and he's adamant that it's our wedding, and we should control who attends. So am I the bad guy for not inviting my brother to my wedding? I've been reflecting on my relationship with my mother, especially since she supported me during a tough time when I was pregnant with Bella. After the incident with Dick, we never really addressed it. It was just pushed aside. I've always been a people pleaser, but I know I need to prioritize my mental health and create a safe environment for my family. Domestic violence is now part of the curriculum in schools, so Bella is aware of these issues, and I want to protect her from unnecessary trauma.